everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jess and today's video is going to be my newest update of my Defeat the TBR episodes. There's nothing wrong with this challenge. However, I will say that one thing that I am finding difficult with this challenge is some of the books that are on my bookshelves are older in my collection, and therefore because they're older I'm not as interested to read them right now, and there's more, I don't know, like I guess hyped up books that I really want to get to, like whilst they're still hyped and they're hot and everyone's reading them. Also, my reading tastes have changed a lot. I used to mainly read thrillers and then a little bit of young adult fantasy, like young adult fantasy series mainly, whereas now I would say I'm more of a romance and fantasy reader than I am a thriller reader. So I am finding it difficult to like move through some of these books because some of them are, you know, they are thrillers that I'm just not really in the mood to read thrillers at all at the moment. And I think I mentioned this before in another Defeat the TBR episode, but I hardly have any romance on my shelves, and considering romance is a massive genre that I have been reading recently, it means I kind of am purchasing more newer books in and out. However, I will say that this should get better in, I was going to say in May, but it probably won't because I'm going book shopping on Saturday. Well, I'm not going book shopping directly, but when we're in London I want to look around in the bookshops in London. This month I started off the month really strong and I read Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey. This is the second in the Hot and Hammered series by her. I really enjoyed this. This gave me like really strong 5-star vibes for a bit, and then unfortunately the third act drama happened, and you guys may or may not be aware, but I'm not a huge fan of the third act breakup trope. And in this book particularly, the third act breakup trope happened in the last 40 pages. So it just felt like it was a super rushed ending, in my opinion, the way that it was done. I ended up giving this 4 stars, which is really sad. And the only reason why is because I absolutely love this couple. Like, I love the two couples. I found it really interesting to see the issues that they were having in their relationship and how they were working through that. But I am very frustrated about the ending because I feel like if this ending wasn't like this, it could have been higher. And honestly, if I reflect upon it, it's probably more like a 3-star read, but I just don't want to have to reduce my rating to that because I absolutely loved this couple, and it's just really sad to me that because of a third act breakup that honestly didn't need to be there, they've been working on their relationship the whole way through this book, that this third act breakup just felt like it just didn't need to be there. And I read The Long Knives by Ivan Walsh. This is what this one looks like, and I think I gave this one 2 stars. It had potential to be really good. It was a very interesting concept. These famous people of power who had given a lot of bad rep to minority groups and the LGBTQ plus community, basically were getting castrated, and they died in the process of getting this castration. So obviously it was basically murder. The issue that I have with this is that he just touched upon these topics in a very chunky hand. I also just didn't really enjoy the portrayal of the police officers. I also didn't particularly enjoy how much swearing and capitalization. I didn't really enjoy the way that the speech was done in here. There was just a lot of things I just didn't enjoy, which is really sad because I brought this in hardback. So good on the Ballab. I'll put it up here so if you guys want to read it you can pause and read. Like, it sounded pretty good. It sounded like it was going to touch on those areas and be very sensitive towards what people have gone through, and it just felt like it was done in such a heavy hand and I just didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. Then I did a little bit of book shopping. I went to Waterstones and I was looking for Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas, but they didn't have it. However, right next to where the series was, like there was an old cover, but only of the first book, so I couldn't even get the old covers if I wanted to, was A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. And I was just like in a really big, like, I want to read something similar to Sarah J Maas or similar to something that I absolutely love. And this has so many high ratings and so many people love it, and I have wanted to read this series for a very long time. I have not picked it up yet this month, but I would love to pick it up. But I'm focusing on a couple of goals to finish a few series before I start any more at the moment. But yeah, I picked this one up from Waterstones, and then when I went downstairs there was a buy one get one half price table, and we all know you can't resist a buy one get one half price table. So the one that you probably just saw in the bottom, I brought Things We Never Hide, Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. This is the second book in the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. I believe this is going to be a 3-book series. I don't think The third book has either just come out or hasn't come out just yet. And I also just love the tagline across here. It says like, police chief Nash Morrigan is known for two things: being a good guy and the way his uniform accentuates his rear end. I just found that was really funny. I think I'm gonna really enjoy this book. However, I didn't have the first book in the series before I purchased this one. I just knew that it was a series that I wanted to read. And then I also picked up Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. I actually was not interested in this book when I've seen it. I've read the blurb a couple of times and I still wasn't particularly interested. However, I saw Mel from Mel Reads on YouTube. I saw her do a reading vlog with this, and the stuff that she was saying that it touched upon just sounded like something that I would really love to read. I don't read a lot of literary fictions, but I'm super excited to get around to this. I'm really intrigued to see how I feel about it because I tend to enjoy things that are more feministy in view. I went to Asda with my partner and they have like a 2 for £8, I think it is. It's either 2 for £7 or 2 for £8 book selection wall, and they had Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, which is the first in the Knock 'Em Out series, and I purchased this and I read it and I ended up giving this one 5 stars. I absolutely loved it, and I feel like one of the positives of having a book that's this big is there is no need for the third act conflict. There was no third act conflict. I absolutely loved this book. I really enjoyed it. I cried at a part of it as well. These characters I was particularly emotionally attached to, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I know some people don't enjoy it as much as I have, but I flew through this book and I just really enjoyed it. And also on that deal, I picked up Guild by Raven Kennedy. Again, this is another series that I've been wanting to delve into for a very long time, along with Touch of Darkness. Again, I haven't read this one yet, but I will say that I am hoping to start this series at some point once I finish off a couple more series that I'm currently reading, as I keep saying. Then I read the third and final book in the Hot and Hammered series by Tessa Bailey. This is Tools of Engagement. This one follows Bethany and Wes, and I actually really enjoyed this. This was quite a dramatized version book of this, because you had this kind of filming set up. This is all on the blurb, but basically they do this flip-off thing between Bethany and her brother, and you kind of just see them. I don't really enjoy their brother, to be honest. I think he has a very toxic brother kind of thing going on, and I don't enjoy that at all. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Again, I gave this 4 stars. I might even give it 3, I don't really know. I really enjoyed the relationship between Beth and Wes. However, this took me longer to get into by quite a lot, but I think that could be because I was really dubious about the third act conflict. There was third act conflict in this. However, I would say that this third act conflict was redeemable. It could be solved in 40 pages. It felt natural for it to be solved in 40 pages. It felt fine. And overall, this series has been probably a 3-star series for me. I know I've given all the books 4 stars, but it is probably, I will remember it as a 3-star series. I also read / listened to the audiobook of Rebel of Sands by Alwyn Hamilton, I believe. But I listened to this via audio through my library, through the Libby app. And I said to you guys, I don't really know what reading a library book means, but I said it probably wouldn't count. However, I feel like it should count because I have read a book, I have listened to a book, whatever, I've read it. So I'm going to turn around and say that means that I can deduct one of my purchase books off of, it basically just doesn't count. So I will still have a total that is above. I will still have a total that is probably above, but it will have a -1. So I want my TBR total to still stay, but I want it to be a -1, so it can take away a book. The third and final book that I'm going to say that I've finished, because I'm filming this a couple of days early, well, 5 days early. So I'm currently reading Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. I did purchase this and I am reading it this month, but I am also annotating and I am loving this. I don't know what it is about Sarah J Maas, but I think she could probably write about shit and I would still enjoy it. I am definitely Sarah J Maas trash. I'm using a receipt as a bookmark currently. I just absolutely love it, and I really want to read this series before the 3rd book in the Crescent City series comes out in January. So that is why I am kind of focusing on this series at the moment. And then just when you thought we were done, I went to a charity shop with one of my close friends from uni. We met up, we had some ice cream, we played some mini golf, and we went to browse the charity shops. She actually brought some phenomenal dresses. We were in there and I saw this book. This is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, and it is the second in the first Mistborn era of books. If you guys don't know, I am slowly collecting this series, this trilogy, the first one. And the first one I got is actually this cover as well, so I got that from a charity shop as well, and I got this one from a charity shop. Guys, this was 50p. It's not really like a series that's like high up on my priority list. I want to have the full trilogy first because I have heard it's quite a in-depth series to get into, and once you get started you kind of want to read the whole trilogy close together, so I want to make sure that I have all three available to me. But I was so excited to find number 2 because I have number 1, so number 2 it is. So I found number 2 and that was super exciting for me. Okay, so with that I read 6 books this month, including the audiobook from the Libby app of my library, and I'm so excited about the books that I read. I'm really happy with them. My reading will slow down this next couple of months because I am on placement, but yeah, I'm super excited about this, which leaves me on a total of 75 books in my current owned TBR, which is one more than we had at the end of March. However, the reading of the library book means I can deduct one of these for the sake of the videos, meaning that I have actually still got 74 because I have read 6 books. Anyway, that is everything for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let's see more videos from me, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Bye!